Well, I want to thank you for joining us for the 7th Annual Thomas H. Lake Lecture. Each year we have a noted scholar who is invited to give a public address related to faith and giving, and this is it. This address honors Tom Lake, who served as the president of Eli Lilly Corporation and the chairman of the Lilly Endowment as well. Mr. Lake was a man of great faith and generosity and a devoted civic leader, and the Lake Institute on Faith and Giving is a result of a generous gift from Karen Lake Buttrey and the Lake family to create the Lake Institute and also this lecture. The Lake Institute and lecture builds on the legacy and the values of Tom and Marjorie Lake, and we're glad that Karen can be with us tonight. And her stepson, Greg Buttrey, is here also, I think. The Center for Philanthropy and the Lake Institute were both founded on the idea that understanding philanthropy and related issues that influence it can best be done from a variety of perspectives. They both operate in a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary approach to understanding philanthropy. Tom Lake also placed great value on reflection, conversation, and opportunities to take a thoughtful look at issues from various perspectives and viewpoints. And that's the goal of the Lake Lecture. The lecture is a public conversation. It will include a question and answer session and opportunities for the community to engage the Lake Lecture in thoughtful discussion on the ways faith informs philanthropic practices. At the Center for Philanthropy, we believe in listening, learning, developing knowledge, sharing ideas in one area of our work, and transplanting that into other areas to strengthen our total efforts. Our goal is to try to improve philanthropy worldwide, and this is a part of our work. And the Lake Institute is an important part of our overall mission. We're honored that Dr. Ingrid Mattson has agreed to share her thoughts with us tonight and to increase our understanding of philanthropy and a very important part of philanthropy in the world. And I want to extend my personal welcome to her, but more about her later. Now my job is to introduce the Chancellor, Charles Bantz, who is the Chancellor of IUPUI and the Executive Vice President of Indiana University. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm here to welcome you to IUPUI, and from the faces I recognize, many of you know IUPUI well, so I won't elaborate at great length about the 30,000 students and the research that gets done on the campus, that our graduation rate has increased 50% in the last 7 years. I won't dwell on the fact that we're going to set a record for externally funded research this year. Unless the faculty refuse to accept any additional grants from here on out during the fiscal year, it will be a record-setting year in that way. But I'm not going to talk about all of those. I want to focus, in fact, on this lecture and just say a few words about the way in which I believe it reflects and connects with our campus. The Lake Lecture I remember very vividly when Bill Plater came to me and said, we have this wonderful opportunity with Karen Buttrey to create the Lake Institute, to create a lecture, and it's on faith and giving. And I had been here, I think, like 2 days, and I'm only slightly exaggerating. And I had spent my career in public higher education, and I'd spent it, for example, in a state where, let's just say that the idea of announcing an Institute on Faith would not have been well received by a public university. And we talked through the issue and realized that this was truly an important area for us to study. It was an important area that is not about religion in the strictest sense that people in the legal world think about it. It was about understanding how an individual's faith related to giving and related to philanthropy, and how this would create a great opportunity and space for that to occur on our campus. And as a result, we went forward with this, and frankly, this is one of the events I love to come to every year. I am a behavioral scientist. I've become an administrator. I spend a lot of my time with tables of numbers, with opportunities to improve the institution and change things. I frankly don't spend a great deal of my working day on these kind of issues. And every year, the lecture has taken my mind and our audience's mind and tried to move us into a deeper thought about the questions around faith, around giving, around religion, around philanthropy, and has done so in, of course, a totally different way. If you notice the people as they were going across, we have had presentations from different religious traditions, and the presenters themselves have used different styles, but the fundamental quality of the analysis is amazing. And I'll give you an evidence of that. I just met with Brian Payne from the Central Indiana Community Foundation. We exchanged which reception or event are you going to tonight. He's on his way to the one for Bill Bennett at the Sagamore Institute. I was fortunate to come here, and I said, and I love this, and last year's speaker on Talmudic law, and I started to be able to explain part of that presentation 12 months later. This does not occur from every day in my life. This is an amazing level of work and inspiration intellectually, and that's why I find this event so important. I also find it important because it illustrates the best thing that universities can do, which is to bring together a series of scholars across disciplines and help illuminate better the human condition, to whether solving, in fact, specific scientific problems or solving important philosophical problems or anything in between. And this kind of presentation really illustrates that. The campus at IUPUI is known as a campus of health and life sciences. It's the historic core of this campus. We have the second largest medical school. We have one of the largest dental schools. We have the largest comprehensive nursing school. We have a major social work. I mean, we can go down the line. But a part of what we have to do always is remember the importance of the liberal arts, of the philosophic traditions, of the kind of scholarship we are here about tonight. And so I'm as proud of the work that's done by our colleagues who study the Muslim tradition in America. Ed Curtis, our Millennium Scholar in Liberal Arts, an important scholar who has in fact published a chapter of our speaker here tonight. We have colleagues in a variety of disciplines who have worked in the area, whether it's in law. We have a program currently being taught of our law program in Egypt, which obviously has to work with issues of Islamic law as well as the traditional Anglo law, and trying to work across our disciplines. That is one of the richnesses of universities. So I welcome you here tonight. I welcome you to our campus, but I welcome you once again to the opportunity to see one of the joys of university life, which is to bring together ideas in one moment in time with us being here to see that happen. So welcome to IUPUI.
Good evening. I'm Bill Enright, the director of the Lake Institute on Faith and Giving, and we are delighted to have you with us this evening. We're especially grateful for the members of ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America, who have joined with us on this occasion. And in particular, I would like to recognize the new General Secretary of ISNA, Dr. Safa Zazor. Dr. Zazor, we are delighted and look forward to continuing work with you. And also Dr. Amid El-Hattab. Thank you. Who just arrived back in the country yesterday. So we thank you very much for the special effort to be with us today as well. I would also like to introduce to you Mr. Jared Pfeiffer, who is the recipient of the Lake Fellowship for Doctoral Dissertation Work from Cornell University. And he is with us this weekend as well. We are delighted to have you with us. Several weeks ago, I read an article by the travel guide TV personality Rick Steves, in which he told this story. On one of his visits to Turkey, he and his travel group were invited into the home of the mayor of a small Turkish town. As they came into the home, their guest took them to the wall, where hung on the wall was his Quran bag, which is the most holy or sacred place in a Muslim home. And the mayor then said this: "In my Quran bag, I keep a Bible, a Torah, and the Quran. Because Christians, Jews, and Muslims are all people of the Word, children of the book, and of God. And then Steves wrote, how amazing it would be if we could all share the same bag, share the same planet, and be thankful to our Creator. We at the Lake Institute on Faith and Giving live at this vibrant intersection of faith and life, religion, and philanthropy. Part of our mission is to explore the meanings, the motivations, and the practices of giving and generosity among the world's religions, and we are impressed with the generosity of people of the many faith traditions. Indeed, my friends, we do share the same bag. And it is for that reason that this lecture tonight is a particular joy, and it is with great expectation that I am going to introduce to you our Lake Lecture for Faith and Giving for the year 2010, Dr. Ingrid Mattson. Dr. Mattson is Director and Professor of the McDonald Center for the Study of Islam and Christian-Muslim Relations at Hartford Seminary in Hartford, Connecticut. Also, since 2006, Dr. Mattson has been the president of the Islamic Society of North America that is headquartered here in Indianapolis in Plainfield. She is the first female and first convert of Islam to lead this internationally recognized and esteemed organization. A Canadian by birth, Dr. Mattson holds an undergraduate degree in philosophy from the University of Waterloo, Ontario, and a PhD in Islamic Studies from the University of Chicago. In the year 2009, she had the honor of delivering one of the invocations at the inauguration of President Barack Obama. What more can I say? It is my distinct honor to present to you our Lake Lecture for 2010, Dr. Ingrid Mattson, who will speak to us on the subject, Zakat in America, the evolving role of Islamic charity in community cohesion. Dr. Mattson.
Well, good evening. I want to thank all the people who issued the invitation and were responsible for bringing me here today, the university, the Lake Institute, and particularly Bill Enright, who has worked with me. I think we first met about 3 years ago when you invited me, and of course I was still writing the paper, finishing my paper this morning. So that's how academics work. I always have another idea. But he's been very kind and generous, and I'm very excited to come here. And I'm particularly grateful that because I was asked to present on this topic, I had the opportunity to spend some time and really think more deeply about an issue that I've had some thoughts about but hadn't really synthesized until the occasion of this paper necessitated it. So I only have about 30 minutes or so to summarize some of my thoughts, and of course the paper will be available later. Once it's published by the Institute, you'll be able to read in more depth some of the analysis that I've done. I realize that there are probably a large number of people in the audience today who know very little about Zakat, and so for those who do know more, I ask your indulgence as I give as I have to give some background information and general information to lay the groundwork for this topic tonight, which is how Zakat plays a role in community cohesion in the American Muslim community. So I'll begin with a statement by the Prophet Muhammad, who is, of course, the main